to the Liars Club. This is where we take our guests, we tell them to give us the truth, give us a lie, we figure out which is which. I'm Jessica Wellington.
I'm Felicia Michaels.
And you're about to get lied to.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Liars Club. I'm Felicia Michaels.
And I'm Jessica Wellington.
And today we have two interesting guests. I am excited that my newfound friend here, Susan Jones, is on the podcast. I have known Susan vicariously through our friend Nancy Reed, one of the great Texas comics who's an amazing joke writer. And she was always like, you and Susan need to hang out. And here we are. Everybody please welcome Susan Jones. Very
Yay. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
You have to meet Nancy. She's amazing.
Yeah, you would love Nancy.
Have you ever, like, Susan Jones feels like the name sounds like a weight loss thing, or maybe like a...
Yeah. Like you're not going to eat.
It does, the name.
Yeah.
That's scary for big girls. That's nervous. What do you mean I can't have carbs? Is this a trick? Is this an intervention?
Get on the Susan Jones diet.
Great.
Yeah. Oh, you're sick.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll introduce our next lovely guest.
This is Rocco Stowe. He is a awesome comedian. I met him in the belly room. I'll never forget that night.
What did we do? Did we do something?
No, nothing. Actually,
happened?
I think you were getting on Tammy's show or something, so Adam could watch you. And I was like, who is this douchebag coming in just getting a freaking audition?
That's all right. You're getting more spots than me now anyway. Don't worry about it.
No, he was great. And he also is touring with Margaret Cho, who is his
very nice.
fiancée.
Oh, get the fuck out of town.
Wow. Congratulations.
Fist bump on your catch, man. Margaret Cho is so fucking awesome. I love Margaret Cho. I love this. Awesome.
They're a power couple.
Yeah, it looks like they
Yeah.
tattoo each other.
Yes. By the way, I have tattoo envy of Margaret has the best tattoo, the little pistola on her thigh.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God! If I was ever to get a tattoo, I'm too chicken. If I was ever to get a tattoo, I would get like that little pistola. I would totally steal it from Margaret.
Did you see the
Pistola-
presidents on her knees?
No.
Yeah, she's got $5 for Lincoln and $1 for Washington. And they're like, why did you get that? She says, well, for $6, I'll spread them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
I have a friend who actually got a tattoo when she was 17, and it's a corn dog, and on the corn dog is mustard, and it's on the inside of her thigh, right? And it's mustard, and the mustard is in cursive, and it says "Daddy." And I said, why the fuck would you ever do that? And she's like, I don't know. When I was 17, I just thought it was funny. And now she has to put makeup on it.
So a pistola, is that a pistol?
Like a little tiny lady pistol
Yeah.
from
I
like
didn't know
turn
that
of the
was a
century.
name of
Yeah, it's in like an old garter. It's like in a garter belt.
Yes, the
It's
garter.
really cool. Yeah,
it's
she's got great
very
ink.
cool. Oh, wonderful.
Kat Von D did a lot of her stuff. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
My son got tattoos when he went to college, and they are the stupidest, like, dorm room, I got a lighter and I got a pen fucking tattoo. And now I'm like, now I have to take you somewhere to get that fixed.
It's
'cause
scary that
dumb.
the parents are cooler than the kids now. It's like we have
I
to
know.
show the kids how to be.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be the other way around. You know, it's just a
Yeah.
weird time.
Well, my first tattoo was a dumb one. I had a needle and pen ink, which was stupid
Yes.
as fuck.
Yeah.
And I carved my initials in my hand, and then I got this butterfly later to cover it.
Oh, really? Let
I
me
get
see.
it.
Does it look good?
Yeah, you can't even see it. This is my
That's
first
now
real
what I gotta
tattoo.
do with some stupid anime thing that's half done on his leg. Like, why would you do that?
My first was a panther right here, and it ended up looking like a gerbil.
Oh,
you know, yeah. So I just got the whole thing blacked out.
I want to get set list tattooed on my palm.
Oh, really? A set list or
No,
your
yeah.
favorite one?
No, just set list. The
Just
word
set
set
list.
list
Yeah.
tattooed.
That would
But
make
they
a lot of
don't
sense.
like to do palms.
No, because it'll
they-
come off real
yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
It rubs off.
Where
Yeah.
are your son? My son has neck tattoos.
Oh, if
What's
he
wrong
gets,
with that?
Yeah, I know.
They're not good.
She's got him.
He has a huge microphone, and he said he got it because his mom's a stand-up comedian. So I feel personally responsible.
Oh, really? Oh, that's probably why he got him. If I ever got a tattoo, I would get like, well, first of all, I had, when I got separated, this is many years ago, and we hadn't had sex for a long time. And I was like, fuck, when we're officially separated, I'm going to get to fucking, right? And so then, right as I was about to get to fucking, I got appendicitis and had to have my appendix taken out. And then I got a bikini scar right over my vagina. And I was like, I cannot believe I got this bikini scar right as I'm about to get to fucking. And then I got obsessed. I got obsessed. Like, what? Like, oh, I can cover it up. I'll get a tattoo. I'll get a tattoo. So then I was asking all my friends, like, what kind of tattoo would you get on like a surgical scar right above your vagina? And you should never ask men that question, because I asked Joey Diaz, and he's like, you should just get the devil sewing you up. And I was like,
That's a good one. That's good. That's a good one. I like that. You should do it.
I
It
know.
could be a cute little devil.
It could be a cute little devil. Or my friend Wendy said you should get like a ruler, like it's subliminal, like you're the ruler over a man or something. And I was like, well, if I got a ruler.
But then people think you're a teacher.
Or I'd have to get it in centimeters so everybody gets a big number.
Yeah, teacher. Yeah, you don't want to be a teacher.
How about instructions?
Yes. Lick, 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 chew.
So what if you were
Lick,
a
lick,
chef?
lick,
Would your
chew.
son got a spatula on his neck?
I don't know. The joke goes, good thing he didn't know what a dick his dad was. So he didn't get the dick on the other side to match the microphone. But it's a huge, like,
I take it you guys are
Elvis-
together still?
It's
My
the
son.
old Mike.
No, you and your husband?
No.
Oh, that was a joke. If he's a dick, usually you're separated.
I don't know. I never knew who it was.
Yeah. Well, that's awkward.
Embrace it.
I know.
It was
Usually,
the
Embrace the
80s.
awkwardness.
The 80s were different, Rocco. The 80s were different.
no, they weren't. They weren't that much fun. You were different. The 80s was the same for everyone else, my friend. So this is what usually we do a theme. And we've been trying to be more conversational, right?
Yeah.
And so today I was driving over here like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? And then I see Susan. I'm like, hey, Susan, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, oh, my God, did you hear about? And she names this comic that we know. I'm not going to say his name. Relax. That he's still missing. And we started talking about, yes, because he went, you know.
Right.
Yeah,
What did he like?
He
He's
went-
just MIA?
He went MIA, and that Susan said that she had found him. If you're uncomfortable with it,
No,
we can
it's
take
cool.
that. Yeah.
You found him. Well, that's good.
But then he went missing again. And so this is what I'm getting at. And then I said to her, yeah, he tried to friend me on Facebook, but I grew up with a crazy parent. Like when I see crazy, I turn the fuck around and I have to go away because I grew up with it. I did my time. And then you were saying, yeah, I grew up with crazy too. And I was like, Jessica's mom's crazy. And so today I think we should talk
family,
about,
yeah.
that's our theme, is like fucking crazy people that you're tied to in your family and you can't escape. Anybody want to
Yeah,
raise their hand
and
on
if
that?
we drive people crazy.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Well, me being sick is that's a great. This is what I've been thinking about all day. Is that before when I was younger, I wouldn't let my my parents or my grandparents. I wasn't. Everything that they had shown me hadn't seeped in. You know what I mean? But now it's starting to seep in. Like they're very hypochondriacs, and everything's the worst. And now I'm afraid of heights. And I got sick today, and I'm like, well, this is the end.
Yeah.
This is it. This is how I go. Like, literally, that's what I think. And I have, like, a lump in my throat, and I'm like, great, I have throat cancer. This is it.
Oh, so you're definitely hardcore hypochondriac?
Yeah, like, I
Really?
try not to voice it all the time because I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but that's what's going
Yeah.
on in my head. Like, great, this is it.
My
this is how it
ex-husband
ends.
was a hypochondriac. I just couldn't tolerate it.
It's fine.
I couldn't tolerate it. It's like, dude, people have real fucking problems. Get your ass out of bed.
Right.
And it's, you know why I'm that way? Because I grew up with a crazy mom who was all like a psychosomatic sick, and she was sick and she was handicapped, but she couldn't pull herself out of being sick. So when people get martyry and sick, I'm all like, no, I'm out. It's
Yeah.
terrible. It's terrible.
My aunt, like, they're obsessed with death. My Aunt Peggy, I remember when I went and stayed at my cousin's house one night, a lightning storm came up, which is very common in North Carolina. In the South, you have a storm. But she freaked the fuck out, and she yelled at us and was like, get on the couch, get on the couch. And I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna die. What is happening? She's like, put your shoes on, because if lightning strikes, it'll help. The rubber will help. It'll deflect the lightning. I'm like, oh my God, this is the end of times. I have no idea what's going on. And she would very often make her and her daughter and her grandchild get in the tub during a storm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But not with water, right?
No.
Okay. Because that would be fucked up.
Just sitting in the tub.
The
Yeah.
toaster. Somebody's holding the toaster.
Yeah.
Gotta get in here.
That stuff like that, and it didn't start seeping in until later, like in my 30s, I think.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because before, you think you're invincible, and now all that stuff is like, well, maybe she's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Rocco, anything to add in this conversation?
Nope.
You don't have any crazy
all
family
good.
members?
Well, of course. Come on, I'm from Philadelphia.
Right.
I mean, last time I went home for Christmas, I walked in, my sister-in-law pulls out a baseball bat, takes it to the flat screen,
we go.
you know.
Wow.
You know, and there's a line of Coke on the table.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
My brother
yeah.
walks in. Where's the beer at? You know, yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's a scary thing. And it's a scary thing when you grow up.
Welcome home.
I know, right? When you grow up in a situation like that, like I've been kind of dating a fella, and I just like any little sign of anything, I start rocking back and forth, like here it comes.
Yeah.
It makes you be that way a little bit.
Right.
It makes you.
You don't
be that
trust.
way.
You don't
Yeah,
trust.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to trust.
Yeah. How about you, Susan?
Everybody's crazy. I worked in a strip club for a decade, so my
Oh, is that where
definition
you met Felicia?
of the word crazy. I was just thinking about everything I know. Yes. My definition of the word crazy, if I now in my adulthood use the word crazy, you know it's serious.
Yes.
Because that my level, like if we say, oh, that bitch is crazy, she's strip club beyond like DEFCON 9 crazy.
Yeah.
So I think the
That's like the meter,
definition.
the strip club crazy, and then there's.
Oh, yes.
Well, because then you have baseline crazy. Not all
Right.
strippers are crazy. I was a stripper. I'm not that crazy, but you have baseline crazy. But when you get baseline crazy into a stripping situation or a sex business situation, it is not okay.
Yeah, there's no
it's-
level
yeah,
of
Yeah. What did
fixing
you do?
it.
What did you do at the strip club?
Man, I was a DJ. And
You were a DJ.
yeah, in
really?
in '92, I went to the convention because I got strip club DJ of the year. Do you guys want to hear it? Listen.
Yes.
Coming to the stage, the rage of the stage, our number one satisfaction attraction, working hard to get you that way, taking you to the edge of seduction and back again. Here comes Sapphire.
That far.
Yeah,
Typical.
I trained the Deja
Taking
Vu.
it to the edge.
Deja vu.
Yeah,
That is wild.
yeah. 10 years. I'm writing a book called 10 Years in the Dark.
Oh, really?
I might
That's a
just
great
call it The
that's a
Brass
great-
Pole.
That's a great title.
Wow.
All the stories about the dancers, and then I have a customer section like Captain Save-A-Ho and the manager and the
Captain
dangler. The
Save-A-Ho.
dangler's the guy that shows up in January in the really short basketball shorts.
Oh.
The dangler.
Yeah, Captain Save. I was a big proponent of Captain Save the Hose because I was 18, so I could work. I could work that angle.
Yeah,
pretty
they're good for like 90
Yeah.
days
Yes,
before they
yes.
really want.
Yes.
I used to sell Coke to all the strippers in Philly. That was a good job.
Coke's back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was a good
Making
job.
some weird comeback.
This is in the late 90s. Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
day, though, someone said, "Do you want some Coke?" And I said, "What?" And he goes, "It's bad Coke, though." And I thought, we didn't have adjectives in front of the word Coke. We didn't spread around bad Coke.
Yeah, why would you even offer that?
Ooh.
It's so funny when I hear people talk about Coke now. Like a few years ago, a bunch of comments were like, "We got Coke, we got Coke," and then the way they were doing it and it wasn't that much. I was like, this is the motherfucking Comedy Store. Please, bitches. I was here in 1985. You have no idea how much Coke. And when people were coked up, it was a different level than what's going on now.
I have an idea, just because the women's bathroom, there's a whole counter made of mirror.
Uh-huh.
And on both two of the women's bathrooms, and then obviously the little piano end table that is all mirror
Right.
in the green room. So I have a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit of an
the
idea.
piano. The piano's where the action went down. There's a piano, a little coffee table, and it's the shape of a piano, but and it has a mirror on it. Yeah, for sure that happened. So this is how the show works. We ask our guests. Sometimes you have to just go to it. We ask our guests to bring in two stories, one a true story and one a lie, and then Jessica and I. We try to figure out which one is the truth and which one is a lie, and we'll ask questions and stuff.
So it might slightly interrogate you a little bit.
Right. And so we'll rotate it around. Does anybody care to go first? You can lie first, tell the truth first, but who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Rocco, you look like you need a little time to prepare.
I do?
just to
Prepare a story that I already have.
check with your attorneys.
That's good. I like that.
So I recently got married a year and a half ago.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And it took us 10 years to get
Congrats.
there. But I put the if you don't marry me by January, I'm moving to LA without you.
Oh,
thing on it.
really?
So we flew to Maui and didn't tell anyone that we were getting married.
Wow.
And I made him message his mother as we were doing the vows. But it was a really crazy night, like the night before. And as I'm standing there, I get a message from our friend Nancy Reed after, just after I said I do. And she said, hey, Ron White is on the other side of the island and he needs you to open for him.
Well, I know what I'd do.
What would you do?
I'd go open for Ron White.
Yeah, no shit.
But I knew I couldn't just leave. I knew I had to start a fight and go because he wouldn't just let me go. He would have said, hey, it's our
You
honeymoon.
could tell him that you're going to open for Ron White, and he would be like, okay, I understand this is your career.
No. When you take vacations once you're married, they are strict. You're going to learn this, Rocco. They are
I'm
strict.
divorced.
No, when you get married,
Again?
yes. It's extremely just
No, but Margaret's cool.
vacation.
Yeah, I think it would be different if you were married to a
We're going bike
comedian.
riding in
Yeah.
Japan. That's,
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And Italy, too.
You're like, I need to pull this Schwinn over to an open micer here in Kyoto. Margaret would be like, I'll go with you.
So we went to dinner, and I started a fight at dinner, and we went back, and he got mad. And we went to the hotel room, and he took a nap, and I got dressed and took a taxi to the other side of the island and opened for Ron.
Wow.
You didn't?
I
Oh,
did.
you did.
And so what happened when you got home?
He was huffy.
That's it? Just huffy?
Well, I had sex with him to make him better, not huffy.
Yeah. How come you just didn't take him with?
He just he's a quiet, kind of shy guy.
Really? Yeah.
Wow. And
He's
now,
he's an
opening-
internet security specialist.
Oh, yeah, that explains a lot.
Yeah, he's an X's and O's, and I'm an emotional.
Yeah.
Right side and left sides of the brain.
Yeah.
Well, now, I can imagine opening for Ron White is not just opening for Ron White. That man likes to get down a little bit. Did you stay late and party and drink his tequila?
Well, you don't have a choice. He doesn't drink tequila.
He has a tequila.
It's,
He does.
It's whiskey.
No, well, he has a tequila brand that he brings.
Oh yeah,
his
him
own.
and
Oh, shit.
he doesn't usually on
Shit,
stage.
Someone brought Papa drinks before.
That's the company he started with, Alex Raimondo, but he usually drinks whiskey,
Okay.
Oh,
like an aged Scotch.
Yeah. Well, did you get paid?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you couldn't tell your old man, motherfucker, I'm about to get paid for. Well, this will pay a few dinners.
His company vested 2 years ago. He's pretty wealthy,
Okay.
and I knew we still had like 12 more days left on the island, so I knew I had plenty. And that was the week Trump got elected. Like we were in there. I got married November 1st, so we were in Hawaii for 14 days.
Wow. Were you there when they did the everyone prepare for a bomb phase?
No.
Okay, that was some crazy shit. Wow.
Wah, wah,
I don't know.
wah. The island
So
sinking.
I can totally see Nancy Reed calling someone out of the blue and saying, "Look, Ron White needs you to do this," because Nancy Reed is like that. So I
Right.
can totally see
And I
Nancy
think
putting
that
the
they work in
connection.
Hawaii.
Yes, yeah, but I don't believe your husband vested. That part might be bullshit.
I don't even know what that means, so I'm like, sure.
Yeah, but all the comics that he takes care of that live in the house in Seattle versus the one in, I mean, we have two houses.
Oh, you do? Oh, I didn't. Oh, so you're.
Did
are
you see my Infinity out front?
No, I did not. Are you sure it's yours? I didn't see you get out of it.
He drives a brand new Chrysler 300 Sport.
Oh,
S.
nice. Bravo.
He paid cash for both of them.
I don't know. It's a tricky one, but I love I love your opening story. That's a good one. We haven't had one like that before.
That's a hard
Rocco.
one.
All right, so it's we're down in Wildwood, New Jersey. It's
This is like a wild, wild
yeah,
west story.
it's 2003. It's the
shit.
family vacation.
Okay.
So we're at the Thunderbird, which is a really, I mean, most people don't have shoes on there. It's very white trash, very Philly, you know. And this girl's down. She's a nurse. She's visiting my cousin Paulie, you know, and he's like, yo, my wife's coming. Can you handle this for me? You know, it's something Italians do. We pass girls off on each other because we all have games, so we can easily pick up each other's slack. You know what I mean? So what happens is I end up taking her back to his place. She's like, where's Paulie? Where's Paulie? I'm like, he's not here. We start doing shots when I was still drinking. I wasn't in the program yet. We're drinking Patron when it was hot. I mean, this is when Patron wasn't mass produced, and it was a really good high. You know, really nice, clean high.
How old were you then?
I was 29, 28. Yeah. So she gets on. So
We're not calculating your age at all. We looked at each other. So
don't care.
29
You
plus
go ahead.
10 plus you said 2003.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So, you know, we go in there, and it was messed up because the air conditioner broke, so we're sweating, you know, and then we start making out, and we start doing a little coke, you know, we start smoking a little weed, and she gets on top of me. She's just blowing me first, right? She pulls my pants down, she starts blowing me. She gets on top of me. She puts it inside of her. I'm like, oh my God, this girl's so tight, man. She's like a virgin or something. You know what I mean? I never felt anything like this, you know? And I reached around to play with her clit. And there was the tampon in. So I was in her ass.
Oh, okay. I was
The first time I banged her. The first time I banged her.
And she didn't go, ooh, I'm sorry. Nothing
No,
like that.
no
She was
lube,
down,
nothing. No,
down.
just right in her ass. No, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah, just slipped it right in. Like, hey, can I borrow your toothbrush? Hey, can I put it in your ass? Just like
Right.
that. No lube, nothing. And then, you know,
I just was thinking, I didn't mean to interrupt. So
yeah.
when that morning when you woke up, there was no way you thought, I'm actually going to fuck someone in the ass today.
you never plan those things.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
My mind goes to now if I had a tampon in and I have my legs spread and I'm getting something up the behind, the tampon would pop out.
Well, she's a nurse. She's a nurse, I told you.
Is it like one of those dolls you squish and the eyeballs fly out like that?
This show went really wrong. I thought when you reached around to grab her,
I thought it was going to be a penis.
me too. I thought for sure
I wish.
this was
Jesus. That would have been cleaner than
So
this.
once you realized you were in her butt,
I had a hard time coming because I was so excited, you know?
Oh,
Because
so
when you're
ratchet-
28,
yes.
29, you haven't had a lot of ass sex then. Like now I'm
Right.
44 now, so
Yeah.
I've had a lot of ass sex since
Yeah.
then. But at that particular time,
Wow.
it was the new area. And I think more
Right.
women are more open to ass sex now.
had you had ass sex before that?
Maybe once or twice, but it was only when a girl was trying to get me to get back with them. There was like the bazooka.
Right.
They're like, all right, if you get back with me, you can put it in my ass. And then you're like, all right, I love you again, you know? And then they break up with you because women always have to have the upper hand usually.
Yeah.
And they win. They win.
That's
you
my
guys are
move
smart.
when the American Express bill comes in when I was
Yeah.
married. That was my move. No, I'm totally kidding. Wow. So that.
And then we dated for a while, you know?
Oh,
She's a
yeah?
good girl, you know? She's good to her mother. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
You know what? I honestly, let's have a real conversation. I have never had sex in my butt.
Ever?
Ever. Never once. Because I'm just like, you have a beautiful vagina right there. What is the point of having... It's like when
Oh, I
people...
agree, but I've tried it twice.
Twice? Just to make sure? Just to double seal the knowledge? Like, really?
That's why I have a hard time believing you haven't tried it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I don't know. I just don't... What is the thrill of it, though? Like,
You're
what
so
is...
I like the way the vagina, it looks like the vagina's sleeping when you're in it. You know what I mean? Because you can look at it and the vagina's like, ooh, like
thanks
just
for
like,
giving me a break.
yeah.
I wish they could see your face. Where's the camera? Do it right there. Do right there. Do the. Oh, that's so cute.
It's like a sad puppy. You're not going to take me out for a walk.
So if you're having, no, I gotta understand what you're saying. So if you're having butt sex with a girl, how do you seeing her vagina? Because if she's in front of you,
Well, this
she's
bit-
on,
yeah,
she's
this-
on top. doing
This
like
time
a-
I didn't know. This was a complete surprise. It was-
Right.
But usually after that, then it opens up the the floodgates.
yes,
Yeah, but to see the vagina sleeping, she'd have to be on top and
There's usually a mirror. Like you have mirrors all
okay.
over the
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
right? Don't you have those? I always have mirrors everywhere.
oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm very
okay.
vain, you know?
Just sounds like a loosey goosey booty that just slid right. I mean,
Yeah.
it seemed
She
that
was, but
no-
she was a
Yeah, I was gonna
nurse.
say
But she's
that
a
is-
nurse, you know?
What is that?
I don't know. That's all I got.
She's a nurse.
She's a
What?
nurse. Cat
You
just
know,
slips
they
in
know how
and
to
out.
do it. Relax.
Wow.
Put in needles, you know.
Interesting.
With
That-
no lube.
No lube, nothing. No
Wow.
condom, right in.
Wow.
Wowzers. I still can't believe this tampon would stay in.
No, it stayed in.
That is crazy.
That's the only thing
So she didn't recognize any pain or recognize any like giggle. There wasn't any like.
No,
nothing.
but she knew the tampon was in. She probably knew she could only do ass sex.
Oh.
So that's why she put it right in her ass. I didn't put it in there. She grabbed my hammer, stuck it right in there.
Hammer. Okay, Thor.
I love it.
The hammer, baby.
Hammer.
Before Rocco was dating Margaret, he accidentally sent me a dick pic once.
No, I didn't, did I?
Yes, you did.
Oh, really?
I did? I thought that was Thomas Dale. I did it to you and Thomas Dale, I think, at the same night. Yeah. I didn't know you were on that thread.
Oh, Rocco.
You were on that thread?
Okay, based on the dick pic, would she have felt the ass sex right away?
Yes.
Oh,
I'm Italian.
that even makes it harder.
Susan mocked our ass talking at first, and now she's all like, okay, so when you saw the dick pic, now you're fucking in. Now you're in.
Margaret does about 5 minutes on my dick on stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, do you,
Not to brag or anything. I mean, it could be worse. You know.
not to hurt your feelings, but
Yeah.
I've seen her do 7 on farts. I'm just saying.
Well, farts are a big thing.
She actually,
yeah.
I've only seen her do one fart joke, and it made me laugh so hard because I can't do it verbatim, but it was about farting when you're a chick and you fart, but you're sitting down, and then it travels up your vagina and it snaps at your clit or something like that. I was like, no, that's awesome.
You know what she was doing the other night? We're sleeping, and I'm thinking she's trying to cuddle with me. I'm like, oh, that's cute, and I feel like I'm like, oh, she must be dreaming because I felt like there was wings flapping, and she was like fanning her farts into my face.
Oh,
I almost choked to death. I was like, oh my god, oh my god.
wow.
That's what I was actually
makes me
trying
love
to
her even
explain
more.
This the other day when you have extra hot farts. And it,
Continue.
Extra.
Yeah, it is. They get hot. They come out hot.
yeah, like if you have like, and not like spicy hot, not like they're
weird.
just warm.
Yeah.
Like they're really
You got to hold them for a second, like before you let them out, because you're afraid they're going to burn your asshole. So you got to check to make sure the temperature's right. You're like, wait, it's not ready yet. Let me let it cool off. You squeeze it back in.
I just had this moment of deja vu of my whole comedy career where I started off with ass sex jokes and fart jokes, and then I did mommy jokes, and then I did political jokes, and here we are again. Ass
Full
sex and
circle.
fart. Full circle. I love that I'm doing it with you two, you three, and with Andrew over there in the corner who keeps laughing his ass off. Well, those are 2 great stories.
I'm usually not that dirty on stage.
No, I love it. Please. Those are 2 great openers. So
I can't believe I sent you a dick pic. I don't even remember that.
yeah.
Jesus.
Susan, your next story.
You don't even like dicks, do you? You hate
No,
dicks.
I do like
You
dicks.
like dicks?
Yeah. I'm not a lesbian. We talked about it here at the Comedy Store, and you were like, "Oh man, I didn't mean to send you that."
Oh, I did.
Please, anybody that asks Jessica a question here at the Comedy Store is this: how'd you become a door guy? And so, do you like dicks? Those are the first 2 questions.
That's a good one. That should be open in line on stage. Yeah.
I don't know if I can beat instant anal. That should be called instant anal.
Anal.
Yeah,
Oh
instant.
yeah, like instant.
Who? Instant anal girl?
She's a good girl. She's good to her mother, you know?
Yes.
Okay. One New Year's Eve at the strip club, we also had a bar that I did comedy in, and the owner actually bought it for me to start stand up. And Joey Diaz started there. Craig Gast when Joey was in Seattle.
Oh, Seattle. Okay.
And Craig.
What was the name of it?
Cheers.
Wonderful.
And now he owns 9 of them. 9 Cheers. We had left the comedy show that was on New Year's Eve, and we had gone back to the strip club. But some of the dancers went with the comedians to a party. And so as we were sitting there at the club, 2 of the girls, Wendy, her stage name is Tigra,
Like it. I like it.
and Portia, who's
Is that supposed to sound or mean something? that
actually
I'm not
Heather.
getting?
They just have all goofy names.
Yeah, Portia.
Mine was Stevie when I was an 18-year-old, like Stevie
Aw,
Nicks.
that's
Yes,
cute.
yes.
Just like the one way. Okay.
That's when when that song would play, that's when I would hit the Captain Save a Hose.
I always thought I thought it was one winged dove forever. Oh, that poor little bird that goes in circles.
Yeah.
I did. It's true.
Oh.
So the two dancers come in, and it's really late, and one of them's holding her face, and she had been smashed in the face at a party. And so we just all rallied up like, young guns loading and got in the cars. And the bouncer from the Deja Vu and the head Deja Vu person was there, and the two owners from the club I worked at the time was Lipsticks. So we all went to this party, and we walked up these 2 flights of stairs into this room and said, where's the guy that hit this? And he was a comedian at the time, aspiring comedian. And we kept bringing people out, and they'd like pull the heads out and go, is this him? Because the room was full. And I picked up the guy's camera and said, whose camera is this? He goes, it's mine, not my camera. So I threw it through his big screen, and I said, okay, how about the big screen? So we were trying to get to the guy that hit the girl in the face, and they finally bring him out. And Brian, the second owner of the club, pistol whips him, and they get him to the top of the stairs, and they threw him down the stairs, and they let the two dancers just kick the shit out of him.
What does a pistol whip look like in real life?
Oh.
Yeah, the noise that it makes.
The eyeballs like by the cheek.
And
the
so
eyeball pops
that's what I refer to as stripper crazy. The girls kicked his ass, but when we left, we weren't sure if he was alive or not.
Yeah, because
And you never checked the newspapers afterwards or the internet?
There was a lot of drama from it. They smashed the window out of the back of my red Camaro, the ones with the 76 with the one 80, I think it was 86, with the windows.
Well, they all have windows.
No, they had these one. I think it was
like
80,
a little tiny window.
84.
Yeah.
No, the whole back of the car was the window.
Oh. Okay.
Like the old Corvette style.
Was it a Corsair?
No, it was a Camaro.
Oh, okay.
They were all red.
Those are cars.
Yeah.
Like right after the Trans Am. Well, I would get cars all the time because my brothers are race car drivers. So they would they have shops and.
Dude, are you spiraling out of your lie? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Now you're like,
no,
suspicious.
Do you have
the window?
We were racing. My dad's in the Race Car Hall of Fame. We would come home
really?
on a Friday night, and your car would be running the hobby stocks by like 6 o'clock on Saturday.
Is your dad really in the Race Car Hall of Fame? For what?
He built the quick change rear end where you take the hub off and change the gears without having to take the whole rear end out.
All right.
He built my dad built.
Never mind.
My dad was Rick Mears chassis man in 1984 when he won the Indianapolis 500, and I was on Brickyard Road. Which, when you do it inside, like it's so huge, but it's a big party when you win Indy. I mean, it's huge. But he also built the Emergency West dually pickup truck that's a dragster.
Oh, really?
And he restored the original Hot Rod Lincoln.
Wow.
That song. So, yeah, he was a race car driver.
Oh, wow.
He was really
That's cool.
disappointed when he found out I was going to be a DJ and not a driver.
Yeah,
Oh,
when
really?
your dad's a chassis man.
Yeah.
I think pretty much anyone's parents, when they become a DJ, are like, you could have been a dentist.
They interventioned me over comedy. My whole family locked me in a
really?
room. Oh, yeah. When
There ain't no money in jokes.
when I
But
quit-
these cars here are gonna
until
keep
the
running.
first time I opened for Ron White. And then that was, can we go?
So
Yeah.
wait, you had opened for Ron White before you went to Hawaii?
Would have been a good question to ask.
Yeah, Ron White, he uses a lot of the same people. He'll rotate things around.
And that's why Larry wouldn't have let me go. That's why I couldn't just ask.
Because you had already done it before?
That part I believe. That part I believe. Yeah, he's not going to put someone up that he's never used before and on a gig like that.
Oh,
I don't think I'm talking out of school. I don't really know Ron, but I would
Nancy
assume.
was with me the first time, though.
But Ron is so nice. Like, he takes home people he just met here at the Comedy Store. So why wouldn't he let somebody that he doesn't know open?
We were
Because
on the
there's a
island.
difference between this motherfucker ain't got no food or nowhere to sleep tonight. I'm going to take him and let him sleep on my couch, comic, and then, but am I going to let him open for me when I'm doing some sweet-ass gig in Hawaii? I don't know Ron White that well,
Right.
but that's what I would assume.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Wow.
He is really
Interesting.
nice.
Tough.
He took care of Nancy that week, and then he got us a room the next night in Yakima with Nancy. Super sweet.
Oh, you mean when you first opened for him or when you opened for him in Hawaii?
They'll first open for him.
Okay. I I almost thought I tricked you on that. That's a good. So you never knew that guy lived or died. You didn't know what happened to that guy. Wow. And whatever happened to that stripper?
Heather or Tigra?
The one that got hit.
Tigra, she's an accountant assistant now, I think. But I still talk. I still
it.
talk to both of them. Heather runs a truck down on the Tide Flats that does concession, like food truck.
Well, I think people now have such a different viewpoint of strippers than like in the 80s when I was doing it and before that. Like people are more accepting of it. But when I was doing it, it was like the worst part is I don't know if I shared this already, but. I was doing the stripping, and then I was like, I got to get a real job. And then I got a job at a hostess at a restaurant that does mostly business lunch, right? Like a big business at lunch.
Where you put your business card in the fishbowl.
Right, but it was like a really nice restaurant, and it was separate, complete. I knew it from two circles, separate place. No, I swear to God, separate place. And then they found out I was a stripper after I was a hostess for like 3 weeks. And then they fired me. And the guy was like, I can't have you working here because you're just a fucking whore from the strip club. And it hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
Really hurt I was like 18 and a half. Really hurt my feelings.
This is like your Pretty Woman plot.
Yes, anyway. Rocco, your turn.
Do you work off commission?
I still can't believe I sent you a dick pic.
That's my
Jesus. That's crazy. I totally forgot about that.
Wait, I got it. Huge mistake. Big mistake.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Okay, it's the 2000. It's around 2000. Sex in the City was booming. Remember that? Was that? It was like in the peak. It was like just starting to teeter down. I'm living in Philly at the time, in South Philly. I used to go up to New York to do spots, and I go to see my cousin Romeo, who's running the Harrison restaurant, which is outside Chinatown, around Lafayette Street, around there. I used to whack up this Russian girl. From the city. Whack up meaning that Webster's definition is to divide into parts. So you could whack it up, you could say bring it out, whack up the food, whack up the drugs, whack up the money, whack up
that dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that's whack. This is whack up. It's totally different.
Yeah, but if you've already killed the dude, right? You needed to get rid of him, the body, you'd say whack him up.
Well, we
wouldn't
just
say whack him up,
would
you'd say whack him.
No,
he's already been whacked. So now you whack him up.
Well, then you got to dice. No, that's different. You got to cut the body parts off.
Right.
That's different. They would say dispose of the body.
Jersey Shore lingo is not fucking trailer park lingo from South Carolina. Jesus.
So anyway, we go to this karaoke bar. Me and the Russian girl. I come in there. Romeo's singing "Lady Is a Tramp." Lady, that's why the lady is a tramp. You know that song,
yes.
And. So the Russian girl goes, my fantasy is to see two, greasy Italian studs go at it.
Whoa.
And make love. And if they're relatives, it's even better. And I said, well, I got to tell you something. Me and Romeo.
Relatives are even better?
Yeah. I said, look, me and Romeo over there, it's my cousin, my second cousin. I go, we do it to each other, We don't, but I just said that. She goes, really? I go, yeah, we'll do it, but, you got to do us both too. And she's like, okay, yeah, that's cool. So then Romeo gets off stage. He has no idea what's going on. So I go, Romeo, make out with this girl right here. She starts making out with him, right? He's like, what the hell's going on? And I'm like, I'm giving him the sign for the double team, right? And
what is the sign for the double team?
It's usually two. It looks like a peace sign, right? Or like, yeah. And then you hit the chest. The double team's coming. So
I didn't know that.
To make a short story long, he's like, what's going on? He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, And so we go back to her place, right? And she has a beautiful apartment somewhere in the city. I don't remember. It was a while ago in Midtown or something. And she starts blowing me. Romeo's hitting it from the back, right? And
in the vagina.
In the vagina this time. Yeah, just a regular. There it is again, regular vagina. Oh, here's the funny thing. She goes, this is the best part of the story. I almost forgot. She goes into the bathroom and she goes, I got to get ready. So she's in there for this is her time. She's never had
Probably douching and
she's shaving. She's putting on lingerie. She's doing her hair. She's redoing her because this is her dream. We're getting ready to fulfill her dream. You know what I mean? So she comes in, she starts blowing me. Romeo's hitting her from the back. And then she goes, now you two. And then Romeo's like, what? What's going on? And I look at Romeo, I look at her, and I go, later. I go, let me get in back, and then we switch it up. I get in the back, he's in the front, blah, 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 blah. We do
Did you guys? You did. I was gonna ask. Did you do the Eiffel Tower?
We did the Eiffel Tower. But we're from South Philly and we're Italian, so we did more of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You know what I mean? So we kind of leaned to the side and it bumped elbows. You know, much cooler than the French.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So, you know, and then she's like, you two go. And he's like, what? He's like, he's like, later. Then, is that me?
That's Jersey music for you.
So then he goes, so that went on for about 15 or 20 minutes. You two, no, later, right? So then I was so drunk I couldn't finish. You know what I mean? I was laughing so hard. It was funny to me. And then Romeo goes, well, how about you lick my balls while I jerk off on you, right?
Romeo's gonna lick your balls?
No, the girl's licking Romeo's balls, and he's jerking off, right? So he finishes on her face.
I'm sorry, is this a negotiation where Romeo was like, okay, this is what we're going to do? And she was all like, oh, down for licking the balls.
Yeah, because, you know, when you have rubbers on, it's hard to, you know, when you're
Right.
drunk, it's hard to, like, get off unless you're taking Viagra or something, you know? So and then she goes, and so now she's sitting there. This is terrible. This is a terrible story, by the way. I don't condone this to anybody. Okay.
Now it gets terrible.
Yeah.
Okay?
So he finishes on her face, and she goes, now you two. She's got like the cum, and she goes, now you two go. And I said, later. And she goes, yeah, this is the end. It's done. And I go, listen, we usually would, but we're gonna go back and play PlayStation and drink some beers. So we left, and I was really upset. Because in the car, Romeo's like, hey, he's like, how about I jerked off on that girl's face like that? And I said, I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this girl. You know what I mean? And you finished on her face. That was so disrespectful. I mean, I couldn't talk to her after that.
I have many questions.
You had just met her that night, though.
No, I was seeing her for a while.
Because here's the thing. You said, oh, you had condoms on and blah, 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 blah. And then you're like, and then he squirted on her face.
Well, he pulled it off.
Well, he pulled it off. Yeah, he did negotiate with her. Look, you're going to lick my balls.
Yeah. They come off so fast. They come off so fast. I mean, we try to make them fall off. Guys try to make them fall off during sex. You know? Like, oh, I can't believe it. I didn't even know it broke.
And all I want to say is...
It's like a ring around the base.
The only time I've ever done this is to my kids when they were wrestling in the cereal aisle. Like, you...
Yeah.
Since you were going to double team them.
Yeah, so there you go.
You have to change the signal.
I have to change that signal. Wow, interesting. That was a good second story. Very good. Do you have questions, Jessica?
Well, there's I mean, it seems pretty solid.
You guys are like the worst cops ever. You guys are like the white cops on The Wire.
She's really good. I always ask the stupid questions. Go ahead, Jessica.
I mean, I can't find any holes.
No, they were all filled. They were all filled, Jessica. There were no open holes.
Was that the most disgusting story you've heard on here?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a bummer that like
Earl Skakel's story was worse.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
good.
He rich crackered a girl.
Oh, good. I don't even know what that is.
You don't
Yeah,
want
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a bummer that like this is her dream and she can't wait to fulfill it and you guys are going to be the ones. But it's also kind of sick that was her dream and you still wanted to live your life with her and you're
No, he was joking. No, he's fucking around with your.
Well, I just didn't want it was one thing to have protected sex with the girl I love, but then to just come on her face like that was totally rude. You
didn't start off saying you loved her.
Well, I loved her. Like I fell in love with her like during the during the session, during the operation. Like I had a change of heart. You know, I'm like, this is an amazing. She was a cocktail waitress.
She was a cocktail waitress. Something.
Yeah, she was a cocktail waitress in New York. Yeah, because I used to get free booze from her and everything. Yeah.
Any questions you want to ask about this story he's telling there, Susan?
She was a multi-cock waitress.
Yeah.
Multitasker.
Yeah.
So
She's a good girl.
You were both wearing condoms, but you couldn't come with the condoms on?
He
But
couldn't
where-
come at all, he said.
I didn't come at all that
Where
night.
did Viagra come into it?
No, I said because you were texting and you can't do two things at once. The human brain can only focus on one thing at a time. I said the only way you can really come when you're drunk with a condom on is with Viagra that I know of.
He's like, when you're drunk and you're wearing a condom, it's really hard to come unless you're like on Viagra or
yeah.
some shit.
Okay, and then so she was licking his balls.
Well, after we did the negotiation,
We did negotiate.
we
That
negotiated.
she was licking the balls.
Yeah.
And what were you doing while she was licking the balls?
I was kind of like, because I was falling for it this time. So, and then I was kind of like, this is my girl.
That's so adorable when
This
she
is my
licked my
lady.
cousin's balls.
Yeah.
Our eyes met.
I didn't talk to my cousin Romeo for a month after that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You're the one that set it up.
I know.
You had the signal.
Well, I made a mistake.
Did
All
you
right.
get her a towel?
Yeah. No.
This has gotten a little out of control right here today. I'm not going to lie, but I love it. And
This is
now
what you love.
we're going to pass judgment on who is telling what and what's true and what's not true. We had Susan's story about, her second story was about the woman that got hit in the face and then they went and pistol whipped some guy. And then the first story was about you being a DJ. And what was the rest of the story? I'm so sorry.
It was me getting married.
Oh, that's right. Opening for Ron White.
So you seem really nice and kind of chill now. Were you more of a pistol per se back in the day?
Yeah, I think you can take the club out of the girl, but you can't take the. I mean, if stuff happens now, I know how to handle it a lot better. But I try to be a little bit more mellow in the comedy years.
Right.
So I'm 52, so this is a long time
Right.
ago. I've done comedy 25 years, so this is 27 years ago.
So, what
Wow.
do you think is her lie?
This one's really tough, to be honest with you. God, what does a pistol whip look like? Just kind of give me a.
What do you don't know what a pistol?
I mean, I
whip
get
is?
you pistol. You hit him with the pistol in the face.
Well, at first
Right,
it's
with the
scary
butt
because you
and
think
the
there's going to be a
face.
shooting
didn't know that.
or there's going to be
Yeah.
a bullet. But when he just like turned the gun around and just started beating the shit out of him, it's a very surreal.
Like a hammer, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wowzers!
Glad we could clear that up for you.
So there was a big mess.
By the time he bounced down the stairs onto the pavement and the girls, it kept messing. The mess continued.
What are your thoughts on this, Jessica?
I think that story is not true because she didn't bring up the mess to begin with.
Ooh.
Because that would have stuck out in my mind more than anything. Just the blood was everywhere. If you're pistol whipping somebody, you were gonna have shit.
Oh, now you're
all
a
over the
fucking
place.
expert on pistol whipping when you
Well-
were asking us to describe what pistol whipping was.
CSI shit going on.
I like it. I like it.
No, I
my
see your.
thought.
Yeah, that's a good thought though, and Jessica's right more times than I am. So
Well, we're pretty even lately. And with the Ron White thing, I just can't believe that your husband, knowing what you do, wouldn't be totally on board for you. Maybe he wouldn't want to go, but I don't think that he would say, "Don't do it."
Well, that's our business, Jessica, not your business.
I bet he brought a
okay?
computer on the honeymoon, didn't he? Not at all.
Oh, wow. I'm going to say I think the first one is a true story because I've left someone even on Valentine's Day like I got a gig, dude, and he just brought roses with like porterhouse steak ready to cook me dinner. I'm like, fuck, dude, I got
Just got the
Irvine
call.
improv, got to get out of here.
Right.
But so I would say that the first one opening for Ron White is true because that's so Nancy Reed, by the way. It's very Nancy Reed, and so I'm going to say the first one is true, and the second one I don't think is true. I think it might have happened to somebody else or something like that, or it happened and you weren't there. So, do you want to add in, Rocco?
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
So,
The
which
second
one?
one is not true.
The-
Blood. This is from my memory. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, she's saying that she's sick, so she's on meds. So, which one is true and which one is not?
The Ron White story is absolutely false.
Oh! God damn it!
I
So
vouch for you.
I I knew if I lured Nancy into that story and Ron White that you would totally fall apart. Although the Yakima part of the story with Ron White's true.
Right.
But I did get the call, and I did ask my husband, and he said, absolutely fucking not. Are you working on our... When he does.
So it was all true.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was all true until you said.
He said, "No way are you going to the other side of the aisle. It's our honeymoon. Like if you do this."
I would have been divorced.
Yeah, you got to
Wow.
comedy first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe
But-
you said,
Comes before your
I can't believe
kids.
you went
We
with
do.
him.
The part about his company vesting is true. So
okay,
when
okay.
you're in that
Yeah.
position, and I had been with Ron White and Nancy before, so it was.
Okay.
But the strip club story is 100% true.
Wow.
But because I hadn't told the story for so many years, like, I mean, there was a long time in there where that story was scary. There's another story about them tying a guy to a tree and pouring honey on him and leaving him, and we never saw that guy again either. But the owner of the club was a little
Well, he's probably mob.
I can't say that.
Yeah, probably mob. Anyway, no, when you work in a strip club, like, and you start hearing things and you see stuff, and you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna shut my fucking face and try to get a hosting job at a luncheon place.
Until they fire me when they find out I'm a stripper.
That I'm a horse stripper. So anyway, Rocco,
Terrible.
Jessica, any thoughts on?
Terrible. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
No, it was.
I'm sorry I sent you a cockpick. I told you. Is that an accident? I think I was trying to send it to Thomas Dale.
You told me that it was an accident.
Oh, yeah, I sent it to Thomas Dale.
Right.
Can
You
we
know who
get a
Thomas
copy?
Dale is? Ask him. It was the same night.
Why is her number that close to Thomas
Well,
Dale?
we were
Why is
I was
Jessica
tell-
Willington
we
and
were
Thomas
Texting
Dale.
back and forth.
I had shot her a video. We did a video. Remember we did that funny video by the door?
Yeah.
It's on my Instagram, actually.
Yeah. Shoot
on my-
the video. No,
Yeah. No, it is. It's on my, you can look at it. It's on my Instagram.
All right, so what are your thoughts about his stories?
Well, okay.
First, refresh
I-
everyone on his stories.
The first one is with the tampon lady. And I have a really
The
hard...
butt sex story.
Yeah, I could imagine, with that much force and velocity, that the tampon would come shooting out. Like you can't. Like tampons are strong, but they're just not that strong.
It sounds like a punchline to a Rodney Dangerfield. So I was fucking her in the ass, and then the tampon, I reached around, and the tampon flew
So
up.
that's why I don't believe that one. The second one, I believe that you totally double teamed a chick. Like that's totally believable. And I believe that you have a cousin named Romeo. Duh. Look at you. So I would say that one's true. Yeah, that's my thought. I just can't imagine this tampon not flying out.
Any thoughts, Susan, you would like to add in?
Especially you said her butt was so tight.
I agree. I think the first one is BS,
what are
and
you
the
doing
second
there?
one is
Oh,
true.
it looks like you're jerking off underneath the table. Jessica's shaking up her vape thing. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? So I'm sorry, Susan.
Yeah, I think so too. The first one's BS, and the second one's true. But he might have cupped some balls on the second one.
I think the first one is true. And I think the second one, a part of it is true. And you guys are looking at me like I ever get it fucking right. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but this is coming from the lady that's never had butt sex.
Yeah. Oh. Well played, Jessica.
You're
well
not qualified. You're not qualified to answer. As a matter of fact, you cannot answer.
And I've never done a threesome either. So I'm flying blind here.
I'm just saying, if she had no lube either up the butt, right? No lube, so she had to relax. She couldn't have been tight. Like, she couldn't have been straining, and that might have held the tampon in.
Yeah,
she had to
but
be loose.
he said that
good.
yes, but
Look at me! Listen at it.
but he said that she knew if you have a or was it you that said if you have a tampon in and you're gonna have sex with a guy, you know it's gonna be in the butt. So isn't that a signal like you've had a lot of butt sex? So if you have I'm asking the table now, if you have, Andrew, please, you're in on this too. If you have butt sex or are giving butt sex, but with someone who's received a lot
When
of
you're
butt
drinking,
sex,
you loosen up. Like when you're drunk. Like
Right.
Yeah,
So
like-
she would have to be loose. Again, so she's not clamping down on the tampon in her vagina. Do you know what I'm saying?
does your vagina clamp
can't
down on
kegel it in?
tampons?
Yeah.
I don't. kegel in a tampon?
Yeah, can't you? I can squeeze it now.
Yeah, think
You
how
can
easy
squeeze a
it-
tampon out now? What is going on?
I'm learning so much about my host.
Think about how easy it falls out when you're just going potty, pee-pee.
That's what I'm saying.
Your tampons fall out when you guys go potty?
See, that's what I'm talking about.
I can't believe you right now, Felicia.
That's what the string's for, because you can't get them out. They go in so tight.
Yeah.
You got to yank them out.
Yes, that's true. Like, if
Why
it's
would
a
the
fresh-
string be? Why would you need a string if they just fall out?
If it's a fresh tampon,
You're acting like it's a pellet.
it
you
does
know?
come out like that. Though sometimes, Rocco, you don't
You're
understand.
just walking down the street and it falls out. You're like, oh, it's my tampon. It's by my ankle, and you just pop it back in.
No, because your
Like it's a lighter
vagina
or something?
muscles are keeping it there too.
So you got to flex your vagina the whole time. I think you're lying.
No, you don't flex your vagina the whole time. But if you loosen the vagina enough,
She's getting mad,
and you
Rocco. You don't.
spread your
She's never been
legs,
this
if you
pissed.
spread your legs,
Why
the
would you?
tampon's coming
Why would
out.
you be sitting there with spread
that's
legs
not
and a loose
true.
vagina? Yeah,
That's
see?
not true. That might just be your fucking.
You wouldn't need the
Vagina.
string. The string is there for that.
This is why I don't believe this story. And you can argue with me all day.
All right. Well, I'm saying the first story is true, and the second story, parts of it might be true, but the ending with, because then all of a sudden there were condoms on and then they were off, and then licking the balls, and so that's what I'm saying.
That sounds like a threesome.
I'm saying the threesome doesn't sound right to me.
She's
but-
never had a threesome and she's never had ass sex. So
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
you're
was
vegan.
chained to a bed once, but that's another story.
You've never had a threesome either, Felicia?
I've never had a threesome.
Oh,
I don't believe you.
It's totally true.
All the
I've never
waste
had
of
a
years.
threesome. I've been invited, but I've never had a threesome. I don't know. I'm into just fucking the shit out of one person at a time.
This is.
But I
what kind of
did
stripper
now.
are you?
I
wasn't
what I'm
a-
saying.
I was a terrible stripper.
Wow.
I was the goofy.
You used to do the
stripper.
lazy stripper dance. You ever see lazy stripper?
Yes,
You're like, just leave. Just stop
yes.
dancing. You know?
Yes. You know what my favorite song was? The Beach Boys in My Room. You know why? Quiet, slow song. You're in, you're on the stage, you're off, no fucking around. That was my favorite song when I was a stripper. So what is the real story here?
The second one.
I always get it
Told you.
The first one is a true story, but it's not mine. It's my buddy Steve's. I
really?
actually banged her after him, but that
Well, I don't
really did
believe
happen.
Steve.
No, it really did happen. It really did happen.
But it didn't happen to you, so it's
Didn't
a lie.
happen to me. It's a lie.
Right, then
But
he
I thought I
has-
could tell the
terrible
story
at
as good as
this game.
Steve did, but you know,
He's got a tiny penis. There.
yeah,
So the whole second story was completely true.
completely true from beginning to end. Every piece of it.
Yeah. Why did he come on her face like that?
I know.
If
I
a
was,
woman is gonna do a threesome, how fucking rude. This is why I don't do threesomes, because some motherfucker is gonna ruin it.
Well, he negotiated it though, because she could have said no. That's what I did like that he had negotiated beforehand. It's like, look, you just lick my balls, I'm gonna come on your face, cool.
Everything was
he-
totally
she said
consensual,
yes,
by
right.
the way. This was totally
Oh, so
consensual.
he did ask her to come on her face.
Of course, yeah. He goes, I'm gonna.
Here's
You can
where
lick my
I thought
butt.
the story went awry. I thought because it was a threesome, I thought he was gonna jerk off as she licked the balls, and he was gonna come on your face.
Oh,
That's
no.
what I thought.
No,
That's what I
Felicia,
thought
you're
the story
not
is.
listening.
Yes, I am listening.
Freaking comics, we all got ADD, you know.
I know.
We're like, we're just,
Alright.
it's like bits and pieces, and
Oh
we
my
put something together.
God, I worked up a sweat today.
I took my Adderall.
You guys have been so much fun. I
was a
loved
blast.
it. You guys are awesome. So glad I got to meet you, Rocco. Where can people follow you guys?
Is this almost over, this
We're
podcast?
almost
Because I'm
over.
covered in sweat. It is
I
hot
know,
down
I
here.
know.
Well,
Jesus.
we're having a 5-cent.
Rocco Comedy, ROCCO Comedy. That's my Instagram. That's my Twitter. That's my fan page, Rocco Comedy, ROCCO Comedy.
Wow, you're so lucky you got that. That's awesome.
Why is it hard to get?
No, I would just assume that a lot
Yeah.
of people would have that. Yeah, no, great. I'm so happy to meet you, and wonderful news of you, Margaret. And
Yeah, I
love
thought
it.
you knew
love
that
it.
already.
No, I did not know
Oh,
that.
yeah. 'Cause she's like, oh, yeah, it's my friend. Blah, blah,
Yeah, I
blah.
did
She's
not
so
know
nice.
that. Yeah.
Comment.
I know that she was with someone, but I didn't know what was up. You know, but congratulations and
Thank
wonderful.
you.
She's
Yeah.
a great lady,
Yeah,
wonderful
yeah.
lady.
We're going to Korean tonight. We're going to eat Korean.
Oh, very nice.
I'm taking the Korean to Korean.
How do
Yeah.
you feel about your friend being with Rocco now that you've heard the stories?
He was a misguided young man who had an
Oh
adventurous
yeah, her
early
stories are
life.
way
Yeah,
crazier
yeah,
than mine.
Totally right.
Did you hear the one where the guy from The Who made that thing for her? Those things, you know, those
No.
that you put around your neck in the wood? He had a custom made.
Guillotine.
Guillotine.
No. But when they
Yeah.
punish you and they put you
Yeah,
in
they
the
put your
thing.
head through that thing and your
Yeah.
hands are in there. Yeah. I mean, I'm like nothing
Damn.
compared to her.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm like
Wow.
child, like preschool and stuff.
yeah, she's
She'll
awesome.
fall asleep to these stories.
She is 100%. And what about you, Susan? Where can people follow you?
I want one of those things now. Where do you get one of the? I'm married. That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
I'm at Cupcake Comic everywhere. My nickname's
wonderful.
always been Cupcake, so it was
Okay.
always- Susan Jones is just too easy to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it's
Yeah.
both are adorable names.
Yeah,
Thank you so
thanks.
much
It was a blast.
for coming over here and lying your
Let's do a
ass
commercial
off.
for
I'm a good
Susan
liar.
Jones.
Yes, you
Susan
are.
Jones health plan.
There was a British group that did a
More
song.
like a
Yeah.
Thigh master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Susan Jones, Thigh Master. Who would be good at it?
Yes, that's true. Very true.
Burt
very
Reynolds is back. I'm 82 years old and I still got it.
true. Wow. Well, for
Listen,
everyone.
well, real quick, but this is how we're going to end this,
Okay.
okay? You're going to cut my balls, and I'm going to come on your face, and I'll be in the podcast, okay?
And then we have to all go open for Ron White.
That was weird. Okay. I was like, what? Is it the twosome, the threesome going on now? So if anybody out there has listened to this podcast and has laughed once, or you heard another one where you laughed a couple of times, do us a really great favor. Go over to iTunes and leave us a sweet-ass review at the Liars Club. We're trying to get our social media situation under check. You can follow me on social media at Felicia Michaels across the board. Please go to my Twitter. It needs help. And Jessica?
You can follow me at Jess Wellington 2. That's the number 2 on everything. Please do that, and please like and review us because it's so much fun. We want to keep doing it.
It's a lot of fun. And I would also like to throw a big shout out to the man squeezing here to the microphone. Give it up to our producer, Andrew.
What? You can follow me at one Andrew Rose all across the board. And also, ladies, I'm just letting you know we are now on Stitcher as well. So we
Wonderful.
got that going. So YouTube, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes. Give us a rate review. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, email us at theliarsclub1@gmail.com. You guys rock.
Thanks, man.
And by the way, you can go see Andrew at the Dojo of Comedy. I went last Thursday and saw him. This is the first time I ever saw Andrew do comedy, and I liked it. Yeah, he was really great. And anyway, so I've been Felicia Michaels.
I'm Jessica Wellington, and you've been lied to.